This is D.S. Yaxheimer. This is another edition of the Spectre. I was just, and I guess it took me a while to absorb it. About the Kevin Spacey holiday video. It came out like Christmas. Just amidst the more allegations of his sexual misconduct, which usually involves groping or making unwanted advances on young men or teenage boys. And this all, of course, started at the dawn of the hashtag #MeToo movement, I guess, and actor Anthony Rapp, who you probably, most recently, he's in the new Star Trek CBS TV series, Star Trek Discovery, and he starred in Rent. So So anyway, Kevin Spacey, as his Frank Underwood character, does it's almost like he's doing some real weird, creepy, infomercial about a juicer or something. You know, he's got an apron on, and it's like a Christmas theme, like Santa Claus is on it and stuff like that. And he just comes on the camera. You know how Frank Underwood talks, if you've ever watched House of Cards, and it's he goes, ha, he's just sort of this thing he goes, we've missed each other, or I don't remember. I watched the whole video a few days ago, and it's been talked about quite a bit, and he hasn't said anything in virtually a year about this matter, and he's actually going to court now over it. He had to go to a pre-arraignment hearing or something like that, and the evidence really is, at least any sort of hard evidence, if there is any in this case, is that there's he took a Snapchat video, this young man, of Kevin Spacey trying to grope him, and his shirt was over it, and this is a video taken in a bar where it's dark and noisy. It's hard to tell who it is unless he pointed the video up, and then going up the arm that was attached to, and it was attached to Kevin Spacey, and he was really, grabbing his dick or whatever he was doing, so it's one of those things it boggles my mind, because one hand, I think these people should be held accountable and everything like that, but I don't, it's and it's another incident from just a few years back, and I don't know if this is more of a cash grab, because Kevin Spacey's a rich guy, and I'm not saying he isn't guilty of a lot of this stuff. I think he's, it seems more than apparent, but, and I think this thing kind of probably happened, but I don't think nothing will come of it. Because I think the evidence is just so flaky. And I'm not saying Kevin Spacey doesn't deserve to get in trouble for this and answer for it. He does, but it's one of these things where it's okay, he's disgraced. His career is pretty much over. But he still has money, and as long as you have money, lawyers love you. So he's going to have the best lawyers on this. And in all likelihood, I think he'll probably, I don't think this is going to stick to him, unless he does something else really awful, or he has done something else really awful. Then he'll probably, get in some Cosby trouble. And it took a long time to get Cosby in jail. It took, really, when it comes down to it, it took decades to bust Cosby. So, if Kevin Spacey does wind up actually in some kind of incarceration, or probably maybe house arrest even, it'll take a while to get to that place because it's all about building a case, and it's the legal system is very slow. And they're not going to, try to nail him unless they have something solid, because otherwise it's a waste of time, and it'll just, it won't stick, and so that's the thing. It's important with cases like this, But yeah, but getting back to the video, it was fucking crazy. Actually, I want to fucking bring it up. I haven't even thought of doing that since I'm in front of the computer, but I'm not even going to edit it in, but embed it. But Jesus Christ, this is goofy shit. Somewhere. He was in court, yeah. He didn't look too happy. He pleaded not guilty. No. I think this is it. No, it's get bad.
Kevin Spacey faces a felony charge of sexually assaulting a teenager in Massachusetts. A district attorney made the announcement today. And soon after, Spacey broke his silence.
Here's just some of it.
Posting a bizarre video to social media. Anna Werner is following this.
Kevin Spacey will be arraigned on the sexual assault charges next month. Say the incident happened in a news anchor Heather Onion said in a news conference early.
This is getting sloppy. I was looking for the damn video. Let me be frank. Yeah. Here. That's one. Here it is. It's just so fucking weird. Let me get, fucking adjust this.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. And after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't. So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed everything and have just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts.
But keep in mind, this is Christmas. And he's got like a slew of just, tales of whipping his dick out and groping men and trying to force himself on, young men and I guess, teenage boys in some instances. All this stuff is coming crashing down, but he decides to put on like his Santa apron on Christmas right after like a new allegation comes up, and he's invoking his character of Frank Underwood from House of Cards. It's like he's really trying to dance his way out of it in some way, I don't know.
Would you? Did you? No, not you. You're smarter than that. Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending. And to think it could have been such a memorable send-off. I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said, not of what we did, and we're still not afraid. Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do. Well, of course, they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did. And you love Anyhow, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good. And my confidence grows each day that soon enough...
So here, okay, just to clarify, if you don't watch House of Cards, Kevin Spacey's death, his character was killed off after the sexual allegations. And of course that's what why you're talking about an impeachment. So, and it's basically a facade, he can't really come out and speak as himself. He's using Frank. I think because the character was very popular, the show was very popular, and he thinks he's going to swagger his way back into kind of to win back maybe a lot of his former fan base or support. I don't know, but he does. But basically, this whole thing is he is just referencing House of Cards and getting fired from the show and being accused of things, but not referring to what he's being accused of. Certainly not admitting guilt.
You will know the full truth. Wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die, did you? Conclusions can be so deceiving. Miss me?
Whew. So yeah, that was a pretty crazy fucking video. I've seen a lot of people, it's been talked about online a lot and analyzed. The one thing, I was a fan of a lot of Kevin Spacey movies, a lot of people were. I watched House of Cards regularly, I was definitely a fan of that show. Big fan. And then this happened and he got in trouble and as far as like his personal, up until that point, I didn't really know anything about Kevin Spacey's personal life. It was just vaguely rumored that he was gay for years, and who cares? Nobody would really care about that. But I guess this is some insight as to why he kept his personal life a secret, is because most of it was, preying on people. Young actors and things like that, and he was groping men on the set of, or when he was filming House of Cards, like some of the crew, they were sexually harassed or abused in some way, and that was addressed. He had to go to some kind of like sexual misconduct like seminar he had to go to before he'd go back. As part of this taking care of things in-house is what they did originally with him on House of Cards. But immediately that thing came out about Anthony Rapp, he was gone. Because that was pretty much it. They didn't want the stink on them. But they did, a lot of people kept what he did, like Harvey Weinstein. People kind of sat on this stuff for a long time because he was, an Oscar-winning actor who he's a good actor. He definitely is a good actor. I will say that about him. But a very I don't like to tell from that video. Just him and his home, or I guess I'm assuming that's where he's at. Doing that character in such a way where it seems like it was him. That just seems like it's just a facet of his personality, because he seems like, he's someone he's kind of a sociopath, really. And I think the way he tried to smooth things over in the beginning, when Anthony Rapp accused him something, he kind of said it was, you know, foolish drunkenness that I horribly regret, and he apologized. And all of that, and then he said he came out as gay, and the gay community got pissed off at him because he equated being gay with going after a young underage man. Which is not to say that some people, you know, I mean, I would say Kevin Spacey is probably gay and he does prefer younger women. There's heterosexual men that go after younger girls, and there's gay men that go after younger men as well as, you know, adult men, and there's lesbian women who go after younger girls. You know, it happens. So it doesn't mean like when they said that he came out and said he was a homosexual, it was just at least telling one truth. But I don't think he was doing it to diss gays. He was just someone who did it. He was a gay person who happened to do a bad thing. But I guess, you know, you can't help why they would be a little sensitive to that, though, because they don't want to be equated with pedophiles and perverts and things like that, because they've been fending off that sort of stigma, you know, for ages. So, but yeah, the video's weird. I wasn't going to show it really, but I just on the fly decided to, because it's hard to talk about it and without showing it and sort of like pointing some things out. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Kevin Spacey seems about as narcissistic as any wealthy Hollywood actor of his stature, I guess you would assume would be. I'm not saying they all are, but he definitely is. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. I did think the final season of House of Cards sucked. That was an absolute train wreck. I just can't even believe they put that out. I think, I don't know. Actually, this video, I think, would have made a better finale for the show than what they put out. But that's my opinion. If you like my videos, subscribe. This is D.S. Yoxheimer. This has been another edition of The Spectre. Don't forget to, I guess, click the bell to be alerted of new videos when they come up. I do put up a few a month when I get the chance. Some of them are actually kind of good. At least I think. I hope your new year is turning out, is so far progressing well. That's the only thing I can say. I am out.